That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You are not dreaming. This is not a dream. This is your boy, Larry Williams, OAW Commander-In-Chief. The game is back, baby. I am back right here on Rogues Gallery Incorporated. Let's do the damn thing. Cut my intro music, alright? But how you guys are doing? Once again, Larry Williams of Otaku Assemble, OAW Commander-In-Chief. I'm back again and I'm bringing it back with a vengeance right here on Rogues Gallery Incorporated. Here to bring you my new favorite heroes, favorite villains segment. Let's do the damn thing. It's kind of funny. I'm a little thrown off because I'm used to doing, the OAW call, but this is Rogues Gallery Incorporated, baby. This is what y'all came here for. This is the new home of the favorite heroes, favorite villains, video segments. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. Now, this, my favorite hero segment, this is actually okay, for those of you who may not have checked out my favorite heroes, favorite villains video segments on OAW, the way this works is this. Okay, each week you all, in the comment section below, you all vote for a series that you would like to see me discuss my favorite heroes and favorite villains for. And whichever one gets the most thumbs up, because that's how you vote, whichever ones get the most thumbs up are the ones I do the videos for the following week. So I'm going to kick things off here on Rogues Gallery Incorporated with the last winner from my last favorite hero, favorite villains video segment, and that was the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Now, I've been really excited. I've been uber excited to actually do my favorite hero and favorite villains for this series because I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love the series, and my favorite hero from the series is quite possibly one of my all-time favorite anime characters. Yes, Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime. I'm tired of that idiotic fucking debate. Oh, it's not an anime because it wasn't made in Japan. Who gives a flying fuck? It's a goddamn anime. It shares the art style, it shares the animation quality, it shares the Eastern influences. It's a fucking anime. But anyway, my favorite hero from Avatar: The Last Airbender is quite possibly one of my all-time favorite anime characters and one of the most relatable characters, probably one of the most relatable characters, if not the most relatable character I've ever seen in anime, period. And that is Prince of the Fire Nation, Zuko. Yes, favorite hero. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, Larry, what the fuck? Zuko's not a hero. He's an anti-hero. All this bullshit. No, Zuko's a fucking hero, okay? Zuko is a fucking hero, and I will get into that. Now, brief little summary, brief synopsis of who Zuko is. Well, Zuko is, in Season 1, at the beginning of Avatar: The Last Airbender, he is the 15-year-old banished prince of the Fire Nation. And for all of you all who know about Avatar: The Last Airbender, pretty much the overall plot of the story goes is that the Fire Nation, one of the 4 kingdoms, or one of the 4 nations of the world, has been waging war on the other 3 nations. They striked first with the air nomads, completely wiping them out. And the water tribe is already broken into 2 parts on opposite ends of the world. So their only real adversary is the Earth Kingdom. And they've pretty much been trying to, they've been knocking on the Earth Kingdom door for the past century. And now, at the beginning of the story, now it's up for, Aang, the new, the Avatar, to defeat the Fire Lord and restore balance to the world and all that jazz. Well, where does Zuko fall along in that plot? Zuko, in Season 1, he is the primary villain of Season 1. Zuko, a banished prince of the Fire Nation, the son of Fire Lord Ozai, and I guess she would be the Fire Queen, the Fire Queen Urza, and he is also nephew to Iroh, who was the former prince of the Fire Nation, and the older brother to Princess Azula. Now, Zuko, like I said, in Season 1, he's the primary antagonist. His job as the banished prince, he was pretty much told that he could not return home without the Avatar. the whole idea behind this being is that because the Avatar has been missing for 100 years, the chances of him actually finding him would be pretty damn slim to none, which is what his father Ozai was hoping for. However, Zuko finds him, and throughout season 1, Zuko spends season 1 tracking Aang down, trying to capture him so he could return home with him. Season 2, Zuko becomes an enemy of the Fire Nation because season 1 finale, the Siege of the North, Zuko actually helps with the defeat of the Fire Nation, and that immediately puts him on the blacklist along with his uncle Iroh. So season 2, they're on the run, him and Iroh both. They're traveling the Earth Kingdom on the run. They start off separate, they join back in the middle. Zuko has his whole internal conflict going on in season 2. And then by the end of season 2, we see Zuko completely flip-flop. Towards the end of season 2, Zuko really was a good guy. And then he completely flip-flopped, helped Azula take down Ba Sing Se. Season 3, he returns home, after 3 years. Well, by season 3, he's 16. And then in season 3, it's like, Zuko returns home after 3 years. He a war hero, the champion who defeated the Avatar and took down Ba Sing Se. But it wasn't what Zuko wanted. He found out that, the old life that he had left behind in the Fire Nation, he didn't want anymore. And so that leads to eventually, he turns against his father, turns against Azula, joins Aang and the gang, and, he pretty much becomes a hero by halfway through season 3. And then, of course, at the end of the series, he is the new Fire Lord. Now, with all that said, why do I like Zuko so much? Like I said, Zuko is a very, very relatable character for me. Number one, we get introduced to Zuko as a 15-year-old. I shit you not. When I was 15, I was Zuko. I was just like Zuko. Now, granted, my daddy issues weren't as serious as Zuko's was. But no, Zuko's relationship with his dad and his relationship with his mom and then his relationship with his sister and his relationship with his uncle, that was me at age 15. I think at every point in a young man's life, we have that whole time where we really want our father's acceptance and all that jazz. I'm not saying that, of course my father didn't scar me or anything like that, but at some point in time, we all have that moment where we want our father's acceptance and we try to do things to get in their good graces. I've been through that, just like Zuko went through that. I could relate to that. Zuko and his relationship with his mom, and, after she left and all that type of jazz, not to get too personal, but I could relate to that. Zuko's relationship with Iroh. That's no different than my relationship with my own uncle. I could relate to that. And of course, wholeheartedly, I relate to Zuko's relationship with Azula. The idea of having a younger sister who's so much more talented than you are, and every chance she gets, she just completely outshadows you. I understand that wholeheartedly, because in my family, I am also, the whole prince mentality. I can relate to that because I am the only male in my family. I am my father's only son. But also I have 3 sisters. And growing up, all of them were great, straight A students and athletic scholars and all this jazz. Some of them were even athletes. So, well, actually, at a time, all 3 of them were athletes. So, me, I grew up as an artist, I did play sports a little bit when I was little. But for the most part, I was an artist. And I didn't make good grades as a young child. I didn't start making good grades until middle school. Where did I fit in that? You see what I'm saying? I always felt like I was being overshadowed. But that's where the difference comes in, because there was something that I was legitimately good at. Something that I could do that they couldn't. And that whole idea helped me excel in my artwork, So Zuko's relationship with Azula, I relate to that wholeheartedly. Then, of course, there's the idea of, Zuko's banishment. He was away from home for 3 years, at age 15. Well, shit. What happened to me at age 16 where I had to leave my home for a while? Hurricane Katrina. I was displaced for a while. I had to leave my high school, had to leave all my friends. I went to 2 high schools after Katrina. Had to make brand new friends, all that jazz. So I understand, like, seeing Zuko go through that, I could relate to it. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, Zuko's whole story with his eternal conflict between good and evil and all that jazz, I can relate to it. I shit you not. That's why when I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time, seeing Zuko on the screen, it's like, Jesus Christ, that was me, man. That was me. And that's why season 3, Final Agni Kai, oh, I was rooting for Zuko so fucking hard, man. I was rooting for Zuko so hard in the Final Agni Kai battle with Azula, man. Especially since that was the first time that Zuko was actually legitimately whooping Azula's ass. I mean, if you go back and you watch the Final Agni Kai, Zuko was winning because Azula was thrown off her rocker. Zuko was fucking winning. Oh my god! And then the scene, I'm sorry, like one of my all-time favorite Zuko scenes, especially in the Final Agni Kai, is when Azula, she sends a shit ton of fire towards his way, and Zuko puts his hands like this, and bam, he just it's like Moses parting the seas. He just boom, get that shit out of here, right? And then Azula's like, oh my god, I can't believe he stopped it. And then it waits, and it's like, doo, and you hear the drums. It's like, doo, 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 doo. And then Zuko, boom, he pumps his fist towards the ground, and that big ass fucking explosion of fire comes shooting towards Azula. That shit was awesome. That's my fucking scene, dude. That is my scene, man. Oh man, I love, man, Zuko. Boom. Oh man, that shit was fucking awesome. And then of course, for the most part, most of my favorite Zuko scenes are in season 3. Like season 3, episode 5, the beach, Zuko's monologue at the end, man, that was so good. That was so good. And a lot of people say, oh, the Bleach, that's just the fan service episode because that's when Azula and Ty Lee and May and Zuko, they're all in swimsuits and shit like that. But it's like, no, man. The ending of the beach. If you think the beach was just fan service, you really weren't paying attention to that episode. The whole point of that episode was to show you a day, or rather a vacation in the life of Zuko and the other Fire Nation teams. That was the point of the beach, okay? To show you what their life was like in the Fire Nation. And also, I mean, a lot of people critique is like, oh, season 3 of Avatar is so bad because there's all these meaningless episodes in the Fire Nation. It's like, no, none of those episodes are meaningless. All of those episodes are to show you what life is like in the Fire Nation. Keep in mind, we went 2 seasons without ever stepping foot in the Fire Nation. The only time Aang and the gang the only time we've ever seen the Fire Nation is in season 1 during the winter solstice when they went to Avatar Roku's temple. That's the only time we ever saw the Fire Nation. Other than that, we've never been to the Fire Nation. That's the whole point of those fucking episodes, to show you what life is like in the Fire Nation. But with that said, the beach, that damn good fucking episode. Zuko's monologue in that episode was fucking superb. And then, of course, season 3, episode 6, Avatar and the Fire Lord. At the very end, when after Zuko learned the history of Fire Lord Sozin, and he finds out that Avatar Roku was his great grandfather on his mother's side. Iroh. He tells Zuko, he's like, good and evil are always at war inside of you, Prince Zuko. That is your legacy. I mean, he's like, that's your nature, your legacy. He said, but there is a bright side. Owning you with all the strife is the ability to bring good, to restore the name of our family and restore the honor of the Fire Nation. That was Zuko's whole thing in the second half of season 3, was that he was taking up the mantle of restoring the honor of both his family and of both his house and the Fire Nation. That was the whole thing. The Firebending Masters episode, when they find out that Iroh didn't kill the last dragons and Zuko had learned the dancing dragon. That's what that was about. You know. Oh, and then in Sozin's comic, when he's talking with Iroh and Iroh tells him, he's like, Iroh says, an idealist must assume the throne, someone with unquestionable honor. And Zuko's like, unquestionable honor? He's like, but I've made so many mistakes. And he's like, yes, you have. You've struggled. You've suffered. But you always found your own path. You restored your own honor. And only you can restore the honor of the Fire Nation. That was my shit. I'm sorry, man. When Iroh said that shit, I was like, yes, Zuko, yes. Zuko is my fucking dog. And that's why he gets this video dedicated to my man Zuko, favorite hero of Avatar: The Last Airbender series. So with that said, not to make this video too long, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you all for joining me right here on Rogues Gallery Incorporated. That's right, the game is back. Oh! So good to be back. It is so good to be back. Yes, the game is back and I am here to play. With that said, guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow I got my favorite villains from the Avatar: The Last Airbender series coming up. And of course, comment, rate, subscribe. Be sure to, check out the gallery, man. And also, don't forget about my own channel, youtube.com/otakuassemble. Anyway, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-In-Chief, coming to you courtesy of Rogues Gallery Incorporated. I'm signing off, and I'll catch you cats later. Peace.